Alright guys, welcome to another OP Valour video. This week we're going to take a quick look at required kit list, optional kit list, and just some nice to haves. I've got them laid out in front of me in 3 different tiers. So if you haven't been to one of our games before, or any real large format games, this will be just a general guide of stuff that you need to bring. The second tier of stuff is just as you get more into the sport, it's the nicer things to have. And then there's a tier 3, which is just for fun, which will be the super elite stuff. So we're going to start right at the beginning with the must-haves for this game. Valour does not have any rental weapons, so you will require your own gun to come out to play at this year's event. Your gun could be anything you want. This is a Scorpion Evo, which is what I'm running. You can run anything from a CM16 up to a light machine gun, as long as you pass chronograph. There are no weapon restrictions for Valour games. If you have a gun, you will likely need batteries to power it. I bring 2 just to make sure I have enough juice for the day. Usually I'll have one on charge while I'm using the second one. I also tend to forget to charge the first one, so having a backup is always nice. My gun runs on mid-capacity magazines, so I run a few mags, in this case 3, just so I've got some extra ammunition. If you have a CM16 Raider, for example, you may have a high capacity, so 1 might do you for the day. Again, we have no restrictions on if you want to run a drum or anything like that, but we do run semi-auto only, so if you're running a drum, that does not automatically mean you're a machine gun. You have to have something like an M240, a 249, an M60, stuff like that to be a designated machine gun. So again, because I have mid-capacity mags, I need a speed loader, so my required kit list is a speed loader. You may not need that. You may also need such a large one. You may get away with a pistol speed loader. If you have a gas rifle, you will need to remember to bring green gas. This is available pretty much anywhere. Do not leave this in your car as an explosion hazard, because sometimes the weather can get hot, and yeah, bad things will happen. If you are carrying extra magazines and extra kit on the day, you may need somewhere to put that. There are no uniform requirements for the day. You can wear whatever you like. You can come wearing a t-shirt, jeans if you wish, but if you are running extra mags, you may need just a simple rig just to carry extra mags. You can run plate carriers, you can run full rigs if you wish, but another really thing you will need if you are running extra mags is just something to carry them in. This is just a very simple belt rig with 3 M4 mags in it. One of the biggest things that is a definite must is going to be eye protection. This is a requirement to be worn on the field at all times. You cannot take this off unless you're in the safe zone. It must also be rated correctly, so you can't use shop glasses. They have to be a properly rated set of eyewear. This particular set of goggles is the Smith Optics OTWs, and my rating lives just up here. Probably can't see it, but it's etched in the lens, and the rating you are looking to check for is Z87+. If you're buying your equipment from an airsoft store, there's a very, very slim chance it will not be usable. But if you're unsure wherever you got this from, check. For those of you who buy things from Mr. Bezos, be super careful with eyewear from him, just because the stuff that comes unrated will not be allowed in the field. There will be some vendors on the day if you don't have appropriate eyewear. I believe 007 is coming up with a vendor on site, and I'll have a small shop as well, so worst case, if you don't pass, you can always fix it. But again, if you're unsure, check beforehand. Another thing that you will be given on the day is the map. Some of you have seen this before already. This is the final version. There is a link down in the description below so that you can actually download your own if you wish to cut this up and use a smaller version for a wrist office, or you just want to have it ahead of time to plan things. The map on here is basically going to show where everyone starts, where the safe zone is, and there's a set of coordinates along the side and the bottom for work with radios. And this year I'm not actually doing the little tiny player cards for rules because I couldn't fit everything I wanted on it. We usually get a lot of extra questions, so this year on the back of your map there is going to be a comprehensive list of the most asked rules and queries that we get for the game. We are going to go through this on the day, so don't worry about memorizing it. This will also have your radio channels, just so you have a copy on you as we go through. I have 2 things that toe the line between the necessary and... actually, sorry, I've got 2 more things. I've completely left this out. Obviously, if you have a gun, ammunition, make sure your ammunition is biodegradable. We have no weight restrictions on what weight you can use. And this is a huge must. Hydration is huge. If you don't have a water bottle, grab something before the day. Keep this in a pack, a pouch. I think we are going to have some water on site. We usually get some bottles of water donated to us, so worst case you can grab one of those, but water is a definite requirement, much like I would suggest bringing bug spray. A lot of the area is swampy, there's going to be mosquitoes. I believe wasps have been an issue this year in certain places, so this is going to be a must just to make sure it doesn't ruin your day. Having bugs biting you all the time is just annoying, so bug spray after the bite in case you miss a spot. So, sorry, that's the requirement. That's what we recommend you bring to the game. I've got two things that toe the line between a need and a nice. So this is a lower face shield just to protect your teeth. The ones that we sell come with a nice little soft side. Again, you can get these at pretty much any airsoft vendor, but I personally don't wear it outdoors just because at further distances, the rounds are going pretty slow by the time they get to you, and touch wood, I've never lost a tooth yet. So this is a nice to have, but not necessarily a need. It's not an enforced requirement. And the other thing that we highly recommend, just because this field is not flat, it is not groomed, it is an off-road park, boots are going to be a really nice to have. And I don't mean like little short boots without ankle support. Get something that's at least 6 or 8 inches, nice and tall, so that if you do catch a branch or you hit a rock, you don't roll your ankle, because if you roll your ankle, it's a really slow recovery and it sucks. So boots are something that we don't enforce, but highly recommend. That's it for that tier. We are going to move into the middle tier, which is right in front of me. So if this isn't your first airsoft game, or you're just really enthusiastic about throwing your money away, we have a lot of suggestions here for things that will make your day in our game and other airsoft games a lot better. A big one that we're going to start with is gloves. So you don't need gloves, but they are nice to have. These ones I've had for a couple of years, and they're starting to show their wear. And I just wear them just so if you grab hold of a branch or you hit some bracken or something with brambles, there's just something between you and a sharp plant or a bush, just because thorns suck. Dealing with it sucks, and getting stung is just awful. So gloves are a really good thing to have. And again, these are available anywhere. If you have your rifle, I don't carry that many magazines, but because we're in the second tier, I'm going to add another 3 magazines to the list of stuff you want to carry. So this loadout in particular would be an M4 with 6 mags, and obviously enough ammunition to run all 3. There are pyrotechnics in use at most games these days, especially in milsims. They'll use explosives for realism and just, noise in the background. So these things, you can get these at Home Depot, anywhere. A lot of places you give them away for work, just for health and safety. These are just some little tiny in-ear foam buds. They just drop noise reduction down by these are 33 noise reduction. You can get ones that are varied, but these are nice just to take any explosions away from trip mines, flares, and other loud objects on a field. If your gun is loaded to the nines, if you have a weapon that is loaded up with everything, this is relatively modest by some people's standards. It just has an optic and a front grip. If you have a laser, dual mags, big things on the back, and lots of weight, it's really nice to consider taking a sling with you. Just because if you are standing around waiting for something to happen, heading back to respawn, having a sling on your weapon just to take that weight off of your arms. You have to think about, if you're in a game for 8 hours, fatigue can happen, and just having a sling just to make things a little easier is nice. Also, if you're drawing a secondary, if you have a pistol, when you draw a secondary, being able to drop your rifle and not have it hit the dirt, slings, super useful. Radios. So as you know, we have comms this year enabled in the game. Everyone has their FRS assignments. This particular radio is a Wuxin. A lot of people have these. A lot of people also have Beofangs. If you're bringing a radio like this, you will be required to program it, because these usually come unprogrammed. FRS 1 to 14 is what you need. No encryption, no sub-channels. That way you can communicate with everybody. It keeps it fair. If you're unable to get one of these radios, you can go to Crappy Tire and a few other places. You can find Cobra radios. They are not the best gadgets in the world. They are heavily regulated by the radio commission that looks after the radio frequencies, and they're very low power, usually under a watt of power. So when it says 50 kilometers, that's very, very ideal conditions, but it means at least you'll be able to hear things throughout the field, because anybody with these will have a slightly better ability to cut through trees. So Radios, super handy, and this year I think with the size of the field, they're definitely going to be useful. If you're carrying a radio, second battery might be an idea. If you're running any of the off-the-shelf radios that you get in the 2-packs, they usually be AA's, so batteries are going to be super important. So I just carry a small little selection of batteries. Whatever I've got for stuff powering optics or radios, there'll be enough batteries in there as a spare, just in case what I have runs out through the day. So this particular pack has 4 AA's for a radio, and I have a 2032 for my optic. What else do we have here? Snacks. There is a food truck on site, so you don't have to worry about like providing a major meal for yourself, but you can bring things like meat snacks. This is just a large pepperoni stick, a bag of cashews, and your favorite bar of chocolate. This is just on-the-go calories, and it goes really well with your water. You can also bring energy drinks, Gatorade, all that kind of stuff, and that's just going to keep you hydrated and keep you fueled up on the field, just in case you're still hungry. This field is big. You can be burning a lot of calories on the day, so snacks or food is a good idea. Smoke grenades. These are really useful for cover. As a store, I'm not bringing these in this year, so you can check out Comics, at least in Edmonton, Comics, and there's another place, I believe around 156, that does supply smoke grenades. So I don't check my Comics, I think have these, but double check with them. So yeah, you can use any color you want except yellow. With at least these Enola Gay smokes, the color of the text is the color of the smoke. So yellow is issued by admins this year because we need to control how many of these are on the field to keep it balanced. So if you're buying smoke, you can use any color except yellow, so please don't bring them. If we see you pulling out a non-issued smoke grenade, we're basically going to confiscate it until the end of the day, just to keep things, again, balanced. We don't want too much of one heading out onto the field. Still in the nice to haves but not the need is going to be clothing. Obviously, again, no kit requirements. You can wear whatever you like for Valour, at least. Other mil sims and larger games do require certain camouflage patterns. You may get green versus tan, and there's always debate on certain colors like multicam. Check with the admins to see where they're putting certain colors and choose your gear appropriately. So what I have in front of me is just a small selection of stuff I've grabbed. This is a jacket I used to serve with. This is a British DPM smock. You can get these in the UK for dirt cheap. They are army surplus, so you can order these in from the UK. There's a lot of army surplus places here like Seb Arms that will have surplus clothing. They're not expensive. You're not out a ton of money if they rip, and quite frankly, they're actually quite durable compared to like regular clothing. So these are always a good idea to pick up if you're just looking to spend a little bit of money but not too much to get into the sport. If you want to spend some more money and get some more professional looking gear, there are things like 511 pants, which are going to be in a variety of flat colors. Like for example, we stock OD and tan colors to go outside. We also have black if you want to run black and stand up like a sore thumb, like some people enjoy doing. And then on the other higher end thing, this is an example of what I would call a UBAC or a UBAC strip, underbody armor carrier shirt, and it is basically a t-shirt material. It's very breathable. It sits under your armor and it allows you to breathe without sweating too heavily because obviously you're wearing plates. And on the arms, they just beef up the material. So this isn't micro ripstop material, and it just is super durable. So this is on the upper end of anything you might want to pick up for gear. And again, there are so many flavors of tack gear. There are so many companies that make it. If you ever have any questions about clothing or anything, go to your local store, find a supplier that carries all this stuff and just like throw questions at them. Find out where it's made, how it's made, what material they use, what kind of warranty they come with, if anything. But pick your colors very carefully. A lot of people will buy colors specifically for indoor, like they'll run black because they see it in movies. If you take a black loadout and stick yourself in a bush, your camo and concealment's gonna be blown. You can't blend in with anything with black. It is not a natural color. Even multicam black at night will still stand out a little bit more than other colors. So my suggestion always is with tack gear is buy your outdoor colors and just run it indoors, because you're not blending in with a plywood wall at the end of the day. And then yeah, again, no kit requirements. We don't require you to wear X for X team because we are running a milsim light game. So wear what's comfortable. But again, we suggest boots. It's the biggest thing I'll keep harping on about. Ankle support is huge for this game. More nice to haves, knee pads. There's nothing worse than when you put your knee on the ground to take a shot and you are between a hard surface and a pointy stone. It goes right in your kneecap, and I'm just shivering thinking about it. It's a horrible feeling. If you get certain pants like the G3 pants, they come with knee pads. They're going to be built into your pants. Other things like, I believe, First Strikes, those ones come with knee pads as well that you can put inside the pant, but they're internal. If you can't get those, a lot of stores will sell these. You can even go to Home Depot and pick up like contractors' knee pads. Something is better than nothing. And again, this isn't a need, it's just a really nice thing to have. And there's obviously 1,000 colors available depending on what you're looking at. This is a boo-boo kit. This is a tearaway IFAK. This is a little bit more excessive than you might want to carry in the field. If you've got a spare bit of pouch space, we recommend carrying just some Band-Aids. I call them plasters. Just something, you put your afterbite in here. It's just things that if you scrape or cut yourself, like I cut myself yesterday, again, as I usually tend to do, put a plaster over it. I had it on hand, super simple. The contents of what you might wish to carry as an IFAK are going to be hugely varied depending on what level of training and experience you have. I'm trained as like more of a basic first aider, and I've got battlefield first aid from the army, which I obviously can't use anymore. But in my kit, I just carry a few more things above and beyond what you might carry. So I would just carry some gauze pads, some scissors. I used to carry some tablets for diabetics just in case they were getting low on sugar levels. I also carry disinfectant in here. There's gloves. There is a resuscitation aid in here as well. And of course I carry shears just because sometimes if you need to get someone's pant leg taken off, if the worst happens, you got to dress a wound, you don't remove pants, you cut them. So IFAK kits are really nice if you can carry them, and most of the time if you get a nice Velcro one, you can stick these on the back of your clothing. I carry mine center back so it's out of the way, but it's there if I need it. I can grab it, and it's also removable. It's easily identifiable. So again, never a need, but super nice if you want to be on the field. And the last thing I'm going to look at, we talked about the belt in the first one. If you want to elevate yourself up and you're getting more into the sport, consider a plate carrier. There, again, hundreds and hundreds of different types, different manufacturers. There's local, there's abroad, there's clones, there's real, and it depends on your budget, what you're comfortable spending, how much you want to put into the sport. I'm just going to show you this one, which is the one I grabbed off the shelf. This is a clone of a CPC carrier. So this is a pretty big rig by comparison. A lot of people won't run a rig that's this big, but it has mag pouches on the front, it has molly on the sides, the back. It has a quick release system for emergency, so you can, if you fall in a lake and it's watered down, you pull this, the rig disintegrates. And again, you can buy so many rigs from so many different places, but as I tell a lot of my customers, don't buy rigs from Amazon. They are going to be the cheapest of the cheap. They are going to have good looking pictures because they're trying to sell the product. The stitching is going to be poor. The material is likely going to be just a mismatch of junk, and you might get 6 months out of an Amazon rig. I could be wrong. You might get a good one. I personally don't recommend anything from Amazon, especially with Bezos owning more money than all of us put together anyway. But this is just a rig, and again, you can pick your flavor. Go to your local store, see what they have. Go to tax stores, speak to your colleagues, the people you play with, see what they run, see what they think about it. And if you're looking for a rig, get as many opinions as you can, and then work from that. And as I say, that's just a rig I had on the shelf. This one is just an extension of hydration. This is a hydration carrier. So again, lots of different types of this, different manufacturers, different configurations. This is just kind of a mid-grade one that I had on the shelf. This is by a company called Camelback, and they are a US military supplier for hydration kits. This particular one comes with back straps, and I believe it is rated for 3 liters of water. So the little bottle I showed you earlier is good for a liter. So this is going to be 3 times that amount. Plus it has a little bit of insulation. So what a lot of people will do if they run these is they're going to put ice cubes in here, fill it with water, and then it keeps your back nice and cool, which is a bonus. As the ice cubes melt, it keeps the water in here cold as well. And you can always top this back up in the safe zone when you come back for lunch or when you run out. And again, it's not a need. You can just run water bottles in a side pouch, but we're in the mid tier. This is always a good thing, especially for those longer exercises if you're out and about. I think that's pretty much it. I guess I could technically throw this one in as well. This again is just a basic helmet with my GoPro mount on it. This is an N-Tech Flux, and again, there are a lot of manufacturers with a lot of different quality helmets. Ask around, see what people are wearing. This is definitely on the higher end side of things. These are almost 200 bucks. You can get helmets for 100 that will do the same job, that will just protect your head from branches. It doesn't have to be a bump rated helmet. You just have to think, if you're crouched by the side of a tree and you're taking a shot and you lose your balance, just smacking your head off a tree, it's going to suck. A helmet with a nice little bit of padding inside is going to save you from a headache. So again, not a need, a nice to have. Headwear, ball caps are also good as well. I don't have a lot of hair left in my age, so I wear a hat to keep the sun off, because I don't want to shock you, but I burn very easily. Let's have a look at, oh, I have a battery carrier. So this is just a little carrier that carries 1, 2, 3 A's. A lot of you run flashlights, and like for example, EOTechs will run on CR123s. So I have just a little waterproof carrier that is putting up more of a fight than it should be. And that just goes in your gear bag with a lanyard, and you've got 6 batteries. Good to go for whatever needs them. If you are running a plate carrier, a lot of plate carriers will require structure. So there are lots of these on the market. This is a plastic hollow fake plate that you can put in, and you can fill this with sand, plug the hole, gives you a weighted plate. There are also foam plates. This is just flexible but rigid enough to support a plate carrier. So if you have a carrier or you have a rig that needs a bit of structure, these are really good. They also take the sting out of any like close range shots. So definitely more of an indoor thing, but good for the outdoors. So let's have a look at the tier 3. So this one is the super elite. This is, you've been playing for 50 years, you've killed 1 million people, and yeah, this is basically what you're going to start looking at when you are really, really up there. Work helmet. This is a completely sealed unit all the way around. There are nowhere to get shot in. This is basically rated for simunition rounds, so it is obviously rated for airsoft. There are no gaps. A lot of people get shot here between where the mesh meets the lens. This one, there's no holes, so it is just it's just kind of the super upper end of eye protection. Ammunition. Do you shoot a lot when you hit the field? 20,000 rounds might be the way to go. This is a bulk pack of ammunition. The great thing about this is it has a nice handle, so when you're holding your gun, you can just literally pull them into your gun as you're firing. You'll never run out of ammunition. And then here is my go bag. This is what I will take to a field, because clearly I pretend I am the most elite of everybody. Pistol, definitely not a need, not a necessity. It's really nice if you want to practice skills and drills. If you're out of ammo on your first gun, you draw your sidearm, you drop your gun into the dirt, you fire a few rounds, you look badass, you move on. Let's see what else we have in here. Tennis ball, super important. What if you're in the field, you're shooting away, you're having a normal game, someone releases a dog at you? Tennis balls will save your ass. You grab the tennis ball, squeaky toy, whatever you can get your hands on, you squeak this, you throw it, the dog is completely distracted, allowing you to escape. Imagine you're sitting in the field and you're having a really sore time just like leaning on something. I have a small sandbag with a strap. I can attach this to lampposts wherever I want. It's got a nice grippy side, put my rifle on it, get my book out, have a read. You can sit there for hours, camping at its finest. I like to look after my team when I'm out on the game day, so I never... Oh, actually, let's do this one first. You got your primary gun, you got your pistol, but what if they both break simultaneously and you're in the middle of a massive firefight? What you need is a backup gun. I always carry a tiny gun with a massive scope so I can see everything on the field. So there we go, my backup rifle of choice, completely excessive and always necessary. I wear nice boots. I don't want to get my boots dirty, so I have waterproof gaiters. This will keep my trousers nice and clean. Always carry a pair of those in case it rains. Same thing with my raincoat. Got to be nice and dry, always warm. Raincoats, definitely a necessity if you're playing at this level. Magazines. We spoke about how my base gun, I had 3 magazines. Next tier up, maybe add a few more. 600 rounds sounds pretty good. But what if your team isn't prepared? Well, this co-bag will definitely get you sorted. So in here we have magazines, lots of magazines. So we have a sniper rifle magazine, we have an SR25. You know what, I got a couple of AKs, running an AK, I got you covered. We got some cheap M4s if you've got friends but you don't quite like them enough to give them good magazines. That one's here as well. VN mags for those guys who bring the VN guns. Gotta have the right mags so you look cool. High capacity G3, got you covered. That one's good too. More cheap M4 mags. More M4 mags. Yep, just in case everyone runs M4s, you need 1,000 M4 mags. There's another one, got a G&G, got you covered. Gas guns, absolutely. I always have a selection of gas guns, magazines. Come see me, get you hooked up. Shotgun, no problem, always carry a few shells. Excellent, and more sniper rifle. Yeah, and there's not much else to really talk about. Actually, you've got spray paint. This is super handy. If you are wearing a certain color gear and you're in the middle of a field and that tree behind you isn't the right color, spray paint it. Super simple. Grab yourself a can of Krylon, make sure your Krylon matches your gear, turn around, spray the tree, stand next to it. Everybody wins. Personally, I don't take out these boring ass snacks. I'm elevated well beyond that. Personally, I never leave the house without some brie, some powdered sugar cookies, imported crackers, because I don't eat that Canadian stuff. Crackers always go with blackberry jelly, and of course, fizzy drinks, but non-alcoholic because we're not irresponsible airsofters. All that fits inside this wonderful bag, which you should definitely carry because it's super important. And that's it for the video. That's gone through everything I could think of for a kit list. You got your basics, you got your nice to haves, and if you haven't got it by now, the last list was ridiculous. Don't bring glass bottles onto the field, and if you dress a gun like this, I will laugh at you. Although I'll sell it to you first, then I'll laugh at you. That's it. I'm running out of ideas for videos, I'll be completely honest. This was the last one I can think of. If you've got a theme or something you don't understand about the video or about the game that you think would be good to have as another video, I'll take suggestions down below. Give me some ideas of what we can do for another video, but this will likely be the last one unless I can think of something super exciting. And yeah, that's it. I'll put the link for the map down below. The kit list requirements are on opvalor.com. And yeah, if you get stuck on anything, shoot me a message, questions below as usual. And if there's a next one, we'll see you in that one.